Now, those of you who are certain vintage may be surprised to hear that it was 40 years ago this month that the Commodore 64 was launched, part of the personal computer revolution in the early 1980s, along with the ZX Spectrum. It was often one of the first machines people had in their home and would go on to become the best-selling model of all time. Kate Lamble is our science and technology correspondent and is younger than the Commodore 64.
I'm more alive than ever before. What happened to my Commodore?
A chunky tan-coloured keyboard, block graphics and a memory roughly the same size as one large email. More than 12 million Commodore 64s were sold in the 1980s, making it the best-selling single computer model of all time.
Commodore 64!
It still has its fans. Remembers unwrapping one Christmas. What most people who grew up with a Commodore 64 remember most fondly were the games, partly because the system came with one of the first sophisticated sound chips in home computers. The 1980s transformed home computing. If you weren't a Commodore kid, you might have had a ZX Spectrum, which also turns 40 this year, or a BBC Micro, which came out a few months earlier. Smaller and cheaper, these new machines attracted more than just hobbyists. Soon, everyone wanted one.
Homework was never like this. Using your home computer to revise for O-level exams is just one way to make learning easier.
What do you use your computer for?
Mainly games, but I've started writing a few programs myself, little programs and that.
Have you got one?
Nah, hopefully Father Christmas bring one down the chimney this year.
Well, I hope he does.
There are so many computers on the market now that a price war has broken out.
Even those working in the industry were surprised by the transformation. In the last 40 years, this technology has transformed our lives and has itself transformed.
There's a new personal computer from Commodore, with a third more built-in memory than the Apple II, at half the cost. The Commodore 64.
Your modern smartphone processes things more than 2,000 times faster than a Commodore 64, but for some, the old charm hasn't gone anywhere. Just one glance at a modern game will tell you how far technology has come. But the block graphics of the Commodore 64 and others still inspire millions. Generations of kids racing home from school to experience the same kind of thrill.